Howard Wanamaker will provide today's invocation. Howard?
Okay, President Tom, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Perfect. Please join me in prayer. Dear God, during these unprecedented and ever-changing times, it gives us hope to reflect on Mother Teresa's words of wisdom. The fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. The fruit of service is peace. Please join me now in a moment of silence. Amen.
Thank you, Howie. Really appreciate that. Welcome, everyone. Well, the good news is we have a new member to introduce. The world's newest Rotarian is Alan Hall. Alan is returning for his 5th year as the CEO of the A-rated San Jose Schools. Alan spent 18 years as a college football coach, administrator, and professor. He served our country in the United States Army as an intelligence analyst for 3 years. After graduating from Middleburg High School, Mr. Hall went on to play football at the University of Miami, where he was part of the national championship team in 1991. Alan is a past president of the Rotary Club of Alva, Oklahoma. Alan is married with 2 children, a 13-year-old daughter named Zoe, who attends San Jose Academy, and an 8-year-old son, Connor. Alan holds a Master's of Arts in Teaching from the University of West Alabama and is currently pursuing his doctorate in education. Welcome aboard, Alan. We're so thrilled to have you with us. Now, today's program. Any intelligent leader knows you can't be successful without a great team. I was blessed this year to have a fantastic group of servant leaders, and the milestones we achieved together. Their innovation, dedication, hard work, and selfless service made our success in challenging times a reality. We became the largest Rotary Club in Florida once again by working hard to follow up on every lead. We created new systems, streamlined our processes, and made every touch point count. President-elect Jerry Kelly and his committee have been terrific. As past President Steve Backless is fond of saying, membership size dictates where we meet, what we eat, and the caliber of speakers we greet. I was told most large clubs don't grow much. We, however, grew by 11% and beat all the norms. We brought in so many new members this year, classification became a very big job. Madison Shelley and Russell Grice have my thanks. Many of you made positive comments each week about the length of our new members line. At times it stretched from the front door of the Omni Ballroom to the badges boxes. We thought we needed to memorialize that wonderful group, so Warren Jones created the Red Badge Society, and they hosted their first happy hour for new members. It was a fun experience, and we had a number of new members who became more active in our organization as the result. Shelby Dorsey and President-elect designee Jim Agee revamped our new member orientation, our onboarding, and our data collection. We set out to create a fortress balance sheet for our organization. We employed the very best practices when it came to taking care of your money, and we wanted to innovate wherever possible and whenever prudent. Julie Lamy deserves so much respect. She's done an amazing job as our treasurer, and we could not have had the year we did without her careful management and wise oversight of our club finances. I leave office knowing we are in very good shape financially. We set out to once again capture the title of the largest Rotary international contributor in the largest giving district in the world. We are on track to take that distinction again. Much of the credit goes to Michelle Baker and her amazing team. She's worked tirelessly for the past 4 years on our Foundation Giving Committee, and we so appreciate her efforts. Speaking of fundraising, our club's signature event this year, themed Where There's Smoke, There's Fire, now in its 2nd year, is again chaired by Kelly Shaw. She successfully raised $31,500 benefiting the American Red Cross of North Florida. With your gift, the Red Cross will provide smoke alarms, fire prevention, fire safety education, and escape plans for over 700 homes and families in Jacksonville. I want to recognize and thank our key sponsors, Miller Electric, Julie Lamy and Grant Thornton, Jeannie Terrace and UBS, and the Rotary Club of Jacksonville. I also want to thank our board of directors for their 100% financial participation in this effort and the entire signature event committee. Be on the lookout for a hands-on project to install these alarms coming soon. Jim Agee represented us in the Rotary Share Committee. District asked for our help with COVID response, and we responded big time. We're on track to raise $25,000 from our club, and we've already secured a matching grant of $25,000 from the Rotary District. We plan to match that sum with the help of the Jesse Ball DuPont Foundation, with whom the Youth Crisis Center and the Jacksonville Rotary are original beneficiaries of Mrs. DuPont's wonderful gifting. Together, our contribution will make a lasting impact on the youth in our community. For those of you keeping track, that's a 3 to 1 return on your donation. Doug Wedding and his committee made certain the local charities we selected and cared for with funds were taken care of properly. The Rotary Charity Foundation of Jacksonville is our primary giving arm. We donated to 4 charities this year, totaling $54,000. Hubbard House, Restore, Daniel Memorial, and Rethreaded. And we're so pleased to be able to assist these worthy causes. Our goal of staying in constant contact with members and having the best public appearance and providing the best communication and content possible were achieved by our talented webmaster, Bill Learn. The pandemic created unprecedented challenges to our operation, and we worked each day to try to get ahead of the difficulties it caused. Thank you, Bill. As Club Secretary, Maureen Agee took on the difficult task of helping every member become familiar with DAC-DB. She helped committee chairs record data and log meetings in our system. We developed specific criteria to measure our progress, and because of her efforts, we were able to track our successes and improve in each area of our organization. She and E.D. Sherry also designed our member survey you just received. Renee Parento has been working for the past 3 months to get all of our member photos in the club roster. That was a big deal, along with updating everyone's email and cell phone numbers. By now, each of you should be receiving text reminders for meetings and events each week. Jim Agee took a personal initiative to reach out to every member of our club through committees to check in on them and see how they were doing during the pandemic. As a result, I had one member contact me on the verge of tears, and they let me know how meaningful the call was. They said it came at the right time, on a bad day, and gave them the realization they had joined a family that really does care. Thank you, Jim, and to everyone who reached out to others, you made a difference. Howard Kelly and his committee deserve our gratitude. Not only did he help us reconfigure the charter, foundation, and bylaws, he helped our first ever nominations and voting via Zoom. Past District Governor Percy Rosenblum led our nominating committee, and because of their hard work and deliberations, we have an outstanding group of leaders ready to take the reins. Congratulations to all you new board members and to our president-elect designee, Jim Agee. Julie Mason. Julie and her committee wrote beautiful pieces each week to recap our meetings. They were posted online. Their historical renderings of our time together will serve us when future coffee table books detailing our history are compiled. I wanted to begin every meeting on time. Jody Brandenburg was gracious enough to bring back Fred Wolverton's role as our timekeeper. I think Clayton Bromberg said it best when noting the irony. I chose an undertaker as my timekeeper. Wayne Bailey and Andy Clark provided the most wonderful music and got us in a joyful mood each week. John Chapelier made sure we offered beautiful and moving and graceful Thanksgiving each week, and the prayers, they inspired us, they comforted us, and they healed us. Jeannie Terrace and her Sergeant-at-Arms committee truly are the head of first impressions. So many visitors joined our organization because they were greeted with a smile. They were checked in efficiently, and they were asked if they would like to join our club. Seth Rothstein. Seth is a star in the meet and greet department. It's wonderful and uplifting to be greeted with his cheerful and positive joy each week. Jack Sears led another successful sporting clay event that actually was our last meeting in person just before COVID-19 hit. Arnold Rogers. Arnold and his program team, Sean Mulholland, Bobby Brown, Ambassador John Caulfield, Councilwoman DeFore, Representative Duggan, Howie Wanamaker, Clayton Bromberg, Buster Hagenbach, Scott Eater, Julie Mason, and many others deserve a huge applause. I can't thank you enough for the great programs you provided, for your wonderful wisdom, and for always saying yes when asked. You are truly special leaders. We could not have achieved our goal of reaching 60+% attendance without the terrific programs and speakers you provided. I wish I had an award for everyone. There is a special award for someone who went the extra mile. This is someone who worked diligently behind the scenes. As I mentioned earlier, the Charter and Bylaws Committee spent an enormous amount of time updating our club bylaws and recognized by our Rotary Foundation. This person offered up his professional expertise as well as his staff to help. It is my honor to present the Dan Ridgewell Award to Michael Fisher. Congratulations, Michael, and thank you so much for all you did. And finally, to our fantastic Executive Director, Sherry. We talked almost every day. You made sure every program was prepared and ready to go each week. You acted quickly when the challenges arose and introduced us to Zoom. I wish I'd bought the stock the minute you mentioned it. You kept us on track through all the ups and downs, and I cannot thank you enough for the wonderful, loving grace you extended to me, our members, and to our organization. So to sum it up, we grew a lot. We had fun being together in person or on Zoom. We innovated and we planned for the future. We gave away a ton of money, we celebrated often, and we mourned for those we lost. Most of all, we did this together. For all of you who stuck with us, trusted us, believed in us, and supported us, thank you. You are why we truly are the best Rotary Club on the planet. I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity, and I want to thank each of you for the opportunity to serve. I'll end my remarks with the heartfelt thoughts I used a year ago when I took the gavel and began my year up as your president. My dad loved this club. I love this club, and I know each of you do too. We have a bright future ahead, and I wish the board and incoming president, Jerry Kelly, the very best. So let's move forward. We have many new members, and many are attending the ceremony for the first time. This portion of the program is a long-standing tradition, and it's normally where past presidents bestow the honor of the presidency to the incoming president by forming a line and passing the gavel up through the years. Today, we want to remember and honor those who have served our club as presidents in the past. This will take a bit of imagination, so my goal is to keep tradition but utilize our Zoom format. I reached out to all those past presidents still active in our club, and I asked each to give me a bit of information about their year as president. Very soon I will join them as we pass the gavel through time to our new president. So now visualize the gavel being passed. We begin with Quinn Barton. Quinn served as our president in 1976 during the American Centennial Year. Quinn was the CEO of a large truck dealership and said he often recited poems he wrote to the members and the thrill of the audience. Quinn had a positive impact on so many in our community. Past President Steve Backless remembers fondly Quinn was responsible for bringing him into the business. Having just retired from the Bowles School, Quinn has been their historian for many years. Henry Beckwith. Henry served as our president in 1978. Henry joined our club in July 24th, 1967, and has had perfect attendance ever since. Take that in for a minute. He's had perfect attendance longer than I have been alive. He became our 67th president, and we think our youngest, being elected at the young age of 41. He was running a very large company at the same time. Club membership that year reached 300 for the first time, all men. The average attendance was in the mid-80 percentile during his year. Meetings were held at the Jefferson Hotel on the South Bank because not many hotels could handle a crowd that large each week. Dues were raised twice during the year because it was the Carter years and inflation was running high at almost 18%. The cost for lunch, $5.95. President Henry was honored to preside over the district conference lunch at the Thunderbird in Arlington. Texas Governor John B. Conley, a future presidential candidate, was the speaker. This was the largest district luncheon ever held to date, with over 900 Rotarians in attendance. Henry was honored by the club at his final meeting with the Paul Harris Fellowship. Henry was selected to be the district governor of 6970 3 years later. Brian Cooksey Jr. served as our president in 1988. President Brian was the CEO of McCall's Pest Control and traveled to Korea for the RI convention. Under Brian's presidency, the practice of smoking cigars at meetings was banned, and women were admitted to our club for the first time. Tommy Grimes. Tommy served in 1991 and celebrated our club's 80th birthday at the Morocco Shrine Auditorium. They had a blowout event and all 12 clubs participated. He traveled to Mexico City for the RI convention. As president, Tommy continued the tradition his dad started of winning the Salvation Army Bell Ringing Award for the 29th straight year. That record continues to this day. Tommy later became our district governor. Hank Cox, 1992. When it comes to RI conventions, Hank didn't exactly draw the most exotic location in the world. He went home to tell his wife they were going to Orlando. He said she reached for the globe on their kid's desk and quickly began searching through the country of Spain to locate Orlando. When he finally told her it was Orlando, Florida, she made him sleep on the couch. Hank was serving as the president of the Jacksonville Bar Association at the time and building a law firm, but was honored to serve, he said. He said there was one thing that makes our club unique above all others. We have a long-standing tradition. When you are asked to do something by a fellow Rotarian, you always say yes. Guy Marvin, 1993. Guy attended the Rotary International Convention in Melbourne, Australia. Guy said past district governor Henry Beckwith told him the convention would change his outlook on life, and it certainly did. His was the year the transition from our longtime and beloved secretary, Dee Gordon, occurred. Miriam Funchess took over, and we are grateful for both of them. Dee and Miriam couldn't be with us on the call today, but we extend our deepest gratitudes to both of them. Percy Rosenblum, 1988. President Percy said his main objective was to create more awareness of Rotary. Perhaps the most memorable event of that year took place at a regular Monday meeting. Several weeks in advance of the meeting, the program committee had scheduled the president of the American Medical Association to be our speaker. But a week before that meeting was to take place, we got word Ken Burns, the famous documentary producer, was available to speak on the same day. So the dilemma was set. A, do we uninvite the president of the AMA, or B, do we pass on Ken Burns? We went with C. We invited them both to speak by switching to a plated lunch over our buffet and cutting out all announcements to the bare essentials. Thus, we heard about docs and documentaries all in one meeting. The Rotary Club of Jacksonville Way, our cake and eating it too. Charlie Hughes, 2001. Charlie served as our president after Fran Kinne. He recalled being very nervous his first meeting at the Sheraton Hotel. His most burning memory was agreeing to allow former AG for President Bill Clinton, Janet Reno, to be our guest. In spite of our warnings to her staff, we don't allow political speeches. Hers was totally political. She had her sights on becoming Florida's governor. The room was completely packed, and while she was well known as a national political figure, her program was not well received. Dick Miller, 2002. At the time, Dick was CEO of Evergreen Cemetery. He said he prayed before beginning his service, and after returning from the RI convention in Barcelona, came up with the idea for the Heels on Wheels, the 100th anniversary bus, which still provides medical care to those in need. Willard Payne, 2003. President Willard began his year as the first African-American president of our club. He was very successful in being a McDonald's franchise owner and was their first African-American franchisee owner in Florida. He and his wife traveled to Australia's Gold Coast for the RI convention. President Willard's focus was on education, and he organized mentorship programs by Rotary members at Martin Luther King Elementary School. John Howe, 2004. President John is a retired 4-star admiral who commanded U.S. European naval forces. As a young officer, he accompanied Secretary of State Henry Kissinger to China to set the framework for the famous visit by President Richard Nixon. Kissinger mentions John in his memoirs on China. John and his team worked on the Polio Plus Challenge started in 2002 and met the lofty goal of raising $150,000. President John said there was a great Rotary spirit in the club throughout the year, and it was a privilege to serve as our president. His wife Trink sang all the words to every military fight song during our annual USO Day. Bob Collier, 2005. During President Bob's Year Up, the club hosted an international foreign exchange student for the academic year for the first time, due to Bill Learn's hard work. We initiated our Mercy Ship project thanks to Mike Williams and Charlie Towers. This project ultimately generated $980,000 for the Mercy ships and really made a difference to the people in need in developing nations in Africa. Jerry Knorr, 2006. A busy ophthalmologist, President Jerry took over at the useful age of 53. Interestingly, at the RI convention in Denmark, he met a fellow ophthalmologist from the USA. Their conversation over coffee led to the development of the Rotary Host Club project, which sponsors international ophthalmologists from developing countries for 2-week training visits to the US. Locally, this has developed into our club's international service project called the Mike Williams Visionary Scholars Program. It has been a wonderful experience for our guests, our members, our club, and the district. Carl Cannon. Carl was the longtime publisher of the Florida Times Union newspaper at the time and followed his friend and longtime community leader, Jack Diamond. Carl began with a skit where he introduced members to Paul Harris in the form of a phone call that interrupted the meeting. Paul Harris asked if they could discuss Rotary and what it meant to him and how we might uphold the strong principles of Rotary. He finished his call by challenging us to grow Rotary membership, which we did all that year. It was great fun to hear from Paul Harris and remind the members that Paul lived in Jacksonville in 1892 before moving to Chicago and starting Rotary. We were fresh on his mind as he worked with our leaders to establish us as the 41st club in the world. Now more than 35,000 active clubs and over 1.2 million members worldwide are pleased, and we are pleased to be one of the earliest clubs established. Steve Bacalus, 2009. President Steve was busy as the CEO of Tom Neal Trucks, one of the largest truck sales and service companies in the Southeast, but made growing Rotary one of his primary goals. Steve said he set out to build on the gains President Carl worked on for the second time in our history. Our ranks grew to over 300 members, this time men and women. We also once again became the largest Rotary club in Florida. At his first meeting, he introduced the club's theme for the year, a legacy of leadership, and he noted the importance of continuing the club's aggressive membership campaign begun the previous year. Steve reminded the club that membership numbers drive where we meet, what we eat, and the caliber of speakers we greet. Cindy Stover, 2010. Cindy was and still is the marketing president for TD Bank. Her first meeting, President Fran Kinne introduced her as the second female president of the Jacksonville Rotary. She started the hands-on committee to get members engaged in hands-on projects, as our motto states, to provide service above self. She introduced the red napkin to encourage existing members to welcome new ones and sit with them at meetings. President Cindy created many fun activities leading up to our centennial celebration and kicked off the fundraiser for our 100-year club project, the Mobile Health Clinic. Howard Dale, 2011. President Howard set out to make certain our club celebrated our centennial year in big-time fashion. We had celebrations and we raised $1 million by partnering with other Rotary clubs, the Jesse Ball DuPont Foundation, and the district for a gift of the Mobile Health Clinic to St. Vincent's Foundation, along with a 15-year operating agreement. To this day, our gift provides free medical care to the indigent in 5 counties. That year, we hosted the Rotary International President at the district-wide Centennial Luncheon, and we started our downtown Rotaract Club. We held the Centennial Gala with silent auction. We started the Willis Page Memorial Music Teacher of the Year annual award, and we were, once again, a 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. Dr. William C. Bill Mason, 2013. President Bill was very involved while serving as our president. At the time, he was CEO of Baptist Medical Center and Baptist Health Centers. He also served as the chairman of the board of directors at Wilson Children's Hospital. Our executive director, Sherry, started that year, and the transition between Miriam and Sherry went very smoothly. Bill's wife, Julie, sat in attendance at every meeting and later became an active member of our club. A fun fact, Bill and Julie reside in the home where Rotary International President Ken Guernsey lived. President Bill was known to provide Rotary history tidbits at the beginning of each of his meetings. Dr. Pierre Allaire, 2014. At the time, our president, at the time of being our president, he was also the vice president for institutional advancement and executive director of the University of North Florida's foundation. He had just led 2 successful fundraising campaigns that raised over $200 million. Pierre believed strongly in having a strong strategic plan. He staffed his committees well, and he had great programs. That year, Heather Duncan secured Todd Rubin, Film and Television Commissioner, as our speaker. He surprised Howard Kelly with a moving video production. Many of us may not be aware, but Howard was a member of the Channel 12 news team, first an anchor, then a news director, and ultimately its general manager. John Fryer, 2015. President John had just retired from being Duval County Public Schools Superintendent. Before that, he retired as Major General in the Air Force and was recommended by his good friend Colin Powell. He started the President's Challenge to try to get members to get to know one another better. He stressed programs and was very intentional about speaker content. He had some terrific programs, and attendance was very strong his year, and our club prospered under his leadership. Brian Cooksey III, 2016. At the time, Brian, like his dad before, was CEO of McCall's, and by then his company had grown to one of the top 100 largest pest control companies in the nation. Like his dad, he went to Korea for the RI convention. President Brian said his year was the bridge between generations. David Mori, 2017. David was the CEO, still is, of WWGA Mechanical. He presented past District Governor Henry Beckwith with his 50-year Perfect Attendance Award. Our club received the Platinum Premier Club Award from Rotary, and we maintained a 100% Paul Harris member status all year. Tracy Jenks. Tracy started her year as a ball of energy and had 5 goals for our club to reach. Many of you may remember our speaker at her second meeting was a rare no-show. Luckily, the rock star Hank Cox improvised and filled in, and we all had a great time in spite of the no-show by the Jaguars attorney. Tracy started a targeted approach to bringing in high-profile leaders in our club and was successful at getting new member momentum going. Her biggest goal was to plan a signature event for the club, which she named the Great Fire Festival, and she hit it out of the park. She ignited quite a spark in our club, and we hope that future signature events will continue. And now we're going to do something unusual, but in a year like this, we're doing all kinds of new things. It's not that new. This year, our beloved past president, Fran Kinne, passed. She meant so much to so many of us. Our own Tim Cost, JU's president and dear friend, will perform Fran's eulogy. Tim, are you with us?
Tom, can you hear me okay? Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody. This is Tim Cost from Jacksonville University, and congratulations to President Tom, and spectacular year of leadership. It's an honor to be a member of this Rotary. I'm a member of this Rotary, thanks to the woman I'm going to spend a moment or two speaking about, the remarkable Dr. Frances Bartlett Kinne. And I thank all of you for your leadership and your mentorship for a guy like me who's only been in town 8 or 9 years. A couple minutes on Fran, if I could, who was a member of this group. You know, Fran was born May 23rd, 1917. The week before, a baby was born in Brookline, Massachusetts, John Kennedy. And when I first met Fran, it was 1977 when I was a freshman student athlete. You know, Fran was born in Story City, Iowa. Her vitae today is 35 pages long, so I promise I'm not going to be reading anything. Just to give you a few comments from the heart, she was close to so many members of this Rotary, John Trainer, Madison Shelley, Artist Gilmore, so many others, and she loved Rotary. She pretty much demanded that I become a member of this Rotary when I accepted this position back in late 2012. She came here to Jacksonville in 1958. Some of you may know the story. She was on a 1-month assignment. And from 1958 till Mother's Day 2020, she lived here in Jacksonville. She got her PhD over in Germany. She defended her dissertation entirely in German. Not only the first American to do that, but the first woman to get her PhD from that university in Germany. So she came here, you may know, concert level pianist, really remarkable. So many of us took her for classes. She came to JU in 1958, became the first woman dean of a university college in 1961. And then she did that until she became the first woman president of a Florida university in 1979 when I was an undergrad. The memories are so strong for, I'm sure, many of you, but as a ball player, you would be walking out on the mound on a very hot April day and you'd look down the line and they're dressed all in fire engine red or canary yellow or pristine white would be the president of the university there to watch a baseball game. We'd beat Miami or Florida State or somebody. At least that's my recollection. And Fran did more things to show more servant leadership. I never heard the term servant leadership until many years later, but you would watch Fran Kinne come into a very important event of any type, and she would not walk toward the older gentleman with the nicest suit. She'd go and she'd talk to the people that were serving or cleaning up or helping out. And I think that stayed with all of us. She served as president at this university, at Jacksonville University, from 1979 to 1989. And there's a great picture of her there. That's a picture of her we took on her 96th birthday at her home at Fleet Landing. And we have so much video of Fran. I'm going to tell you how we plan to celebrate her. She was president for 10 years. She then went on to be Chancellor Emerita forevermore from 1989, 1994, and then right on till the day she passed away, which was, I think, appropriately in some way, Mother's Day this year, May the 10th of 2020. I'll leave you with this. She always stood for two things, and those of us who know her knew. One was optimism, this unbelievably tenacious, optimistic attitude. It was not any kind of Pollyannish pie in the sky. She wanted to get things done. Fran was tough and smart, and she pushed ahead, and she wouldn't let anything stand in her way, but she would always have a way of tapping you on the arm with a smile and say, you'll do it. You'll figure it out. It was always positive. And the other, I think the ultimate legacy, the inspiration she's left us is she said many times her life was not about her, it was about others, and that it was others before self. And the idea that Fran lived and taught thousands and thousands and thousands of us in this community, those who were students, those who were faculty, those who lived in this community. She broke every glass ceiling before we knew there were such things as glass ceilings. Know that we plan to celebrate her life. It's tough when you pass away with a life like Fran's, just 2 weeks shy of being 103 years old. It's tough when you pass away during a pandemic, but we are already working now to put together a celebration of her life. We're also putting together a statue on our campus. There are no statues on the campus of Jacksonville University. The two greatest ambassadors in our history are artist Gilmore and Fran Kinne, and I'm committed to building a statue to each. But if artist is okay with it, we're going to build Fran's first. It's going to be in front of the Kinne Center. We're going to invite back all the Kinne scholars, and we'll be working on that throughout the summer. So I appreciate all the great goodwill and spirit in this group that brought Fran so much joy, and I hope we can all take a moment and remember her life today. And President Tom, thank you for allowing me to share a few thoughts. God bless.
Thank you, President Cost. I'm a JU graduate and owe so much to Fran Kinne for her encouragement all the way through. And Artis is also in our club, and we're just so grateful for the both of them, and you as well. Thank you for that moving tribute to a wonderful lady, great leader. And now it is my honor to pass the gavel to our new president, Jerry Kelly. In addition to the gavel, President Jerry receives a remarkable lapel pin. Many of you may not know the history behind the pin our president wears. Clayton Bromberg is here to tell us more about the president's pin. Clayton, are you on the call?
Yes, one moment, please. Clayton, can you hear us?
And I think Jerry has is proudly wearing the pin at this moment, but it is quite a storied piece of jewelry. So it's always great to hear Clayton's perspective on why none of us should lose that very expensive pin.
Here's Clayton.
There we are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
The
She lost you, Clayton. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Clayton.
Can't hear you. He's muted
Sometimes-
again.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens with Zoom. It's just one of the things we deal with a new.
what about now?
Here
Yeah.
we are.
Our Rotary Club has a history of, unlike many, we have a president's pin that's awarded each year to our president. It's got a long history. In looking back over that history, the pin was probably made by Greenleaf Crosby at about the same time we were founded. Since Greenleaf Crosby made that, it's had several jewelers that have taken care of it. It went from Greenleaf Crosby to Vic Jacobs to I.M. Sulzbacher to Charlie Wells and then to me. To give you an explanation of what you're looking at, the royal blue inner circle is an inner circle of royal blue, natural blue sapphires that were custom cut to fit inside that. The yellow gold you're looking at is 18 karat yellow gold, and this is not a cast piece. This is a totally hand fabricated piece. And the outside row, each diamond in that is individually bezel set in platinum. This is how they made jewelry back in those days. They don't make it quite like this today. And so my advice normally to whoever's going to be wearing it is don't lose it, because it's going to be real expensive to replace it. So congratulations on being president. Take care of that pin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clayton. I really appreciate you. So I hope, President Jerry, you wear this diamond and sapphire Rotary pin proudly. As you can see by those who have worn it before, it's a symbol of so much more and has been worn by leaders like you who love this organization and the ideals of Rotary. Congratulations, President Jerry Kelly.
Thanks. Thanks, Tom, and thank all of you for allowing me to serve as the incoming president of the Rotary Club of Jacksonville. President Tom, during this past year, I have watched you lead this club in achieving the goals and objectives that were set forth at the beginning of the year. You followed through on all of them. Thank you for your dedication, hard work, and service above self. We have this lovely plaque. I'm going to try and get it so I've got the picture correctly. And we're going to give that, and we're also going to give you a diamond past president's pin. Thank you for your enthusiasm and for setting the standard. You can now sit back and enjoy being a past president. As for the rest of the club, I look forward to working with each of you in the coming year. We have a great year planned. We have a lot of committees already in place and up and running. We will be promoting Rotary International and the incoming president, Holger Knack's theme, Rotary Opens Opportunities. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your incoming president. I hope to see all of you soon. You can make plans to join us on our next Zoom meeting, which will be Monday, July 13th. As this concludes my portion of the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Tom.